Alright, 1,000 pardons. Back to some news. Faction focuses. Enhance. We've seen Skaven Tide, the massive launch box, for the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. From tomorrow, we'll be taking a look at every faction in the game, starting with the Stormcast Eternals. So many changes, the Warhammer studio took the opportunity to fully re-index the entire game. Huge. Was always really hoping they would do this. Good work. That's by far your favorite commercial? Yeah, it's a good one. I gotta make some more, but I just never find the time, sadly. No old models detected. Alright, good work. One of the key goals for the new edition was to make sure that the rules really reflected the Mortal Realms. This meant ensuring that characteristics are consistently applied, reflecting the lore and the look of the miniature. Each type of creature was assigned a set of characteristics which would serve as a baseline across factions. A basic human hits on a 4-up, wounds on a 4-up. Elves are more accurate, but no stronger, so they hit on a 3 and wound on a 4, while orcs are no more accurate, but are stronger, so hit on a 4 and wound on a 3. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I thought they did this already. I thought this was just like something they would generally keep in mind as a default state, but man, Matt Rose had to come in and just be like, hey, can we do the most basic fundamental shit ever now? And Games Workshop was like, I guess. I mean, we have been human hit on a 4, wound on a 4, sure. I'm gonna unenhance this so you can see it. Human hit wound 4, okay, the average man. Elf more accurate, but wounds the same. Orc, just, same accuracy as a human, but will wound on a 3 because they're stronger, makes sense. A grot generally just sucks at fighting because it's a tiny, wretched creature that's weak and inaccurate, so 4s and 5s makes sense. A Monstar, it's big, kind of hard to hit stuff, right? But it'll definitely wound because it's a fucking monster, so 4s and 2s make sense here. And a Horsey. Oh, Horsey sucks at hitting because it's a horse. But it wounds on a 3 because you get trampled, I guess. Alright, fair enough. They got a Luminath Horsey right here. Word on the street is, and I saw this on Twitter, there was a previous version of this that had the incorrect hit and wound value for monsters, and then they fixed it. But that one was also wrong, and so they fixed it a second time. This is the third try by the article team to get the number right, but they did. They did eventually. I believe there were 3 versions, and we're seeing the most recent one. I believe it was like hit on 3, wound on a 4 for the monster the first time, and the second time was something else, and now this one is 4 and 2. Did they not fix this? Grot 5/5 monster should be 3/2. I don't know if that's wishful thinking, but good try. Anyway, all this makes sense. And we can infer that Stormcast Eternal are special supermen. They're just good at everything. They have magic weapons forged by a dwarven god out of the core of a planet. They are 3s and 3s. You got the Stormcast attack profile, which used to be 3s and 3s 1/1, by the way, a million years ago, used to be known as the Stormcast attack profile because it was an elite profile to be 3s 3s 1/1. Eventually, everyone became 3/3s 1/1 because things kind of spiraled out of control, and now they're reining it back in. What about Chaos Warriors? I would put them at the same. Stormcast 3/3, Chaos Warrior same 3/3. I consider essentially Chaos Warriors to be the like equivalent and opposite of Stormcast as far as like skill and how much juice they're getting from their god and stuff like that. So I would consider them the same. And then like mega elite super Chad versions of Stormcast are maybe 3s and 2s or 2s and 3s. And so the same thing with Chosen, like Annihilators versus Chosen, for instance, or something like that. What about Ogres? Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder what Ogres will do. I could see Ogres being 4s and 3s. I could also see Ogres being 4s and 2s. Because Ogres are noticeably stronger than Orcs, but they're certainly not more accurate. If I had to guess, I would say that... Well, not guess. I think Ogres should probably be 4s and 2s. They're essentially foot monsters, is what they are. They're certainly no more accurate than any of the other races. I don't think they're more inaccurate, though. And they probably wound on 2s, is my guess. Monstrous infantry, in other words, yeah. Now, I think... Here's the counterexample. Rat Ogres are 4s and 3s. And Rat Ogres are Ogres. Historically. They got the Ogre, like, wheel, you know? Where it was 4 wounds, 5 up saves, 6 move, or whatever it is. Same attack profile as Ogres used to have, so maybe Ogres are just the same as Orcs, except with shittier armor and 1 more wound or something like that. I'm not sure, but this is time for Hopium. I haven't been shown Ogre rules yet, so we still have a little bit of Hopium left, although it's fast turning into Copium. GW counts Ogres as horses, yeah, baby. Is Mega Gargant a monster? For sure, yeah, I would say. If a Mega Gargant isn't a monster, I don't know what is, right? They really should have shown a Brute rather than a Gut Ripper. Oh yeah, good point. Because if I'm thinking about strong Orc, I'm not thinking about Cruel Boys. I'm thinking about Iron Jaws for sure. You are right. That is a good point. And this is baseline. You can always extrapolate from it. In a sensical way. Elite warriors and brutes. Ooh, extra space. Or ill-trained fighters and weaklings can modify these baselines, but the archetypes can provide a strong and consistent core. A similar approach was taken amongst heroes, helping to differentiate a combat hero from a priest or wizard. Okay, makes sense. Iron Jaws could be 3s for the brute models and 4-3s for the Ard Boys. That makes sense. You can do that. You wonder what they'll do with your beloved Ideneth? Probably an elf, right? Depending on, you know, whatever would have you. Seems like an elf. Fish profile. Yeah, what's the fish profile? Is an eel a horse? Help me out here. More hard work came when deciding how to clearly represent the health and save characteristics. Okay. Hundreds of miniatures were lined up to compare, with health largely defined by their volume, and save largely defined by the amount of armor worn. I should also hope, perhaps, maybe like super agility, because I think in the abstracted version of armor, maybe super agility is just higher armor. I guess it could be a ward or something too, you know, avoidance. Or like how thick the skin is, you know, if you have like scales, I think that counts as armor. They say these are just like, these were grouped together to help decide where brackets for each characteristic would start and end. Okay, we're just setting a scene. You're right, in which case Chaos Warriors should have a 2-up save. And various things like that, you know. Some of the most full plate in the game, plus shields. with runes on them. Yeah, who knows? Crew boys are still orcs. Yeah, even a weak looking crew boy is way stronger than your average human. Let's not forget. Yeah, or a -1 to hit penalty if you have super agility, something like that. -1 to hit. If you're like a Nurgle guy, -1 to wound. If you're like a elf dancer, then -1 to hit. You could. There's a bunch of different ways that you can represent that, I think. Why is a grot the same as a human, though? Well, they're a little worse at wounding. Or did you mean something else? They put beans on the pictures of all the models to determine their size. Beans. Imagine it's like the difference between a chimp and a human, where the chimp is just way stronger. Yeah. Oh, in the original picture, the grot was the same as a human. I see, okay. Yeah, people were saying the horse was different too before. But this should be the final true one. Damn, what a fight. I was about to make fun of the Doomfire Warlocks back here, but they said they looked at every war scroll and they built them from the ground up again. Absolute hope. Could it be Doomfire Warlocks actually good? Only time will tell. After these base characteristics had been determined, the aim was to ensure that every unit had its own role to play on the battlefield. We're safe on Yes. Yes. Once again, Matt Rose showing up and forcing them to do what they absolutely should have been doing the whole time, and I can't believe that this is like newsworthy that they're now thinking about this. I don't mean to put Matt Rose on such a pedestal. He's made changes to the game that I don't like. But it's hard not to root for the guy when he's like, hey, we should think about if anyone would ever want to play, like, all of this stuff. You know what I mean? We should look at data and then make changes to balance according to that data, which was something that they did not do before. And so it's like, it's kind of hard to root for the guy when he shows up with, we should do this fundamental normal thing. And then the Games Workshop people being like, this guy's a genius. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Melee Foot Assassin is technically a role. So these will be realized by abilities that helped to define their strengths and unique traits. Okay. What if we made it good? Yeah, the classic player, the armchair game developer pretending it's easy, who just plays the game and thinks like a player. Why don't they simply make it fun? Like the most shallow, pointless comment ever, you know. Why don't you guys just decide to make the game fun instead? Like, actual game designers are vibrating in their chairs from fury at the each faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar has its own specialties and preferred tactics, but internal balance is also important. True. Holy true. Where an army has access to multiple types of infantry or cavalry or war machine, the rules team took pains to help differentiate them. Big. Perhaps giving one unit a focus on holding objectives, one unit better positional play, and making another unit better at countering specific threats thanks to a carefully chosen weapon ability. The one that will be the best, by the way, is always the positional one, but maybe not. Ahem. Weapon abilities. Some weapons have one or more of the passive weapon abilities below. Or more, nice. If a weapon has multiple weapon abilities that apply on a critical hit before the attack sequence starts, before you have rolled, the commander of the attacking model must pick one of those abilities to use that apply on a crit. Okay, so we're still in 3rd edition land with this one. And I don't think, man, it feels like we're never going back to 1st and 2nd, where combos were regular and fun was allowed. And there was something for Johnny to do. I guess those times are just gone, which is sad, because I liked them, or at least that part of them. I liked rolling a 6 and getting just both of the things. You paid for both of those abilities, you get both of those abilities on the thing. They don't like it, they should shoot my hero in the head, you know? Well. But, yeah, fair enough, it's easier to balance if you have to choose one. Universal weapon abilities. Anti-X, +1 rend. Add 1 to this weapon's rend characteristic if the target has the keyword after anti, or fulfills the condition after anti. Multiples of this ability are cumulative. If a weapon has both anti-charge and anti-hero, then add 2 to the rend. Okay, well, hey, you let us have fun up here in this zone. Fun and stacking of abilities is perfectly allowed here. Why can't we have fun up here with 6s to hit? Anti-6 to hit? Fun detected? If you like making broken combos, you might like a game called Magic the Gathering. I do like a game called Magic the Gathering, you are right. But I would also like a game called Age of Sigmar in the entirety of 1st edition and the entirety of 2nd edition. But we've moved past it, so, you know, fair enough. But it was one of the things I liked about the game that caused me to pick it up in the first place. Charge, +1 damage. Add 1 of this weapon's damage characteristic if the attacking unit charged this turn. That's a Stonehorn ability that is now a keyword. Yeah, it's managed fun, like managed democracy, exactly. Regulated fun. On one hand, this is all good. On the other, it feels like Adam Sandler film where the 35-year-old first grader gets a gold star for doing their math correct. Yes, but I'm of two minds about that. And the first one is, in a sense, it's kind of... I'm trying to think of an example for this that isn't really... Hold on. I need to think of a stream-safe example for this. Yeah, celebrating the bare minimum is a bit... It can be a little maybe condescending or patronizing or something like that, right? But also don't fall into the mental trap of, well, I shouldn't have to celebrate you doing the bare minimum. You know, the condescending Twitter person, right? Who's just trying to make themselves angrier about their perceived state of the world, whether it's true or not. So don't fall into that mental trap, I guess. They did good thing. Good. And that's fine. When they do good thing, it's okay to just say that's good. When they do bad thing, it's okay to say that that's bad. Companion. This weapon is not affected by abilities used by a friendly unit that affect the attack's characteristic or the attack sequence. Okay, so no +1s to hit, no +1s to wound. Conceivably, no, like, 6s do anything. So it's... Companion means this unit's stats are good enough that we don't think we should allow you to buff them, in other words. So Companion is a... you're in prison. You're in prison. Federal anti-fun penitentiary. on companion. Yeah, it's mount stuff. Yeah, exactly. Ahem. You wonder if that also stops debuffs? It says friendly unit. You can still all-out attack. Is an all-out attack a friendly unit ability, or is it like the ability of you, the player? I bet it says on sheet. This thing has like, this is a picture from someone at the event. I wonder if we have in the little cheat sheet that they got, quick reference. We got command ability. Ooh, you know, we probably don't because this is for Spearhead. So it probably doesn't even explain command abilities. Because they don't have command abilities in Spearhead. RIP. We can't check. Top left, it's right there. I mean, abilities are. But, oh no, commands are here. True. Hold on. Commands are abilities that cost command points. You must spend the number of command points specified on a command to use it. Each unit can only use one command in each phase. And each command can only be used. So it seems like the unit does indeed use the command. Each unit can only use one command in each phase. A command is an ability. So this weapon is not affected by abilities used by a friendly unit. Well, yeah, that seems like you can't attack of opportunity, or not attack of opportunity, all-out attack. Fight champion. Check the AOA command. Alright. Used by the unit using that attack ability. It is used by that unit. Add one hit rolls for attacks made as part of that attack ability. This also affects weapons. Oh, hey, look, it says. This also affects weapons that have the companion weapon ability.
Please clap.
It answered our question for us. He knew. He's a knower. Look at that. They get ahead of a potential question and just answer it for you. Huge. Well, hey, turns out it would not have been able to, except it says it does. So, good work. Crit 2 hits. Make a wound roll for each, sure. 2 hits instead of 1. Crit auto wound. If an attack made with this weapon scores a critical hit, the attack automatically wounds the target. This is something to give a bunch of stuff that they don't quite want to have mortal wounds. They want something worse, but still something, right? And then crit mortal. Notice here, if an attack made by this weapon scores a critical hit, the attack inflicts mortal damage on the target equal to the damage characteristic of that weapon. So, everybody is Cruel Boys now, who has this, I guess. Everybody's Cruel Boys now, who has crit mortal. Which, like I said last time, I think that's a good thing for Cruel Boys. Because maybe now they can do other stuff. Just a little bit. Its sequence ends and not in addition. Yes, it's not in addition. But it's equal to the number of the damage of that weapon, which is cool, instead of just 1. Shoot in combat. This weapon can be used to make shooting attacks even if the attacking unit is in combat. Yep. So we put shoot in combat on a whole bunch of short range stuff. Are these all of them? Are there no other universal weapon abilities than just these? Probably. It seems to be in alphabetical order, and it ends with S. Universal terrain, universal weapons, yeah, same thing on this sheet. So we don't have anything happening on wound rolls. No, like, in addition is gone, it seems. I mean, you could make a custom one for a war scroll if you wanted to, but it wouldn't be keyworded, in other words, right? Having every crit be only on hits makes bookkeeping way easier. Yeah, for rolling, because you roll initially and you just take out all the sixes. And I think that's essentially why it's instead of and not in addition, because you just pull out all the sixes and then they're over here, and it's that much, and then you just roll the rest of the dice. And then for the wound rolls, you pull out all the wounds, and then that's what you show them to be able to do the saves. And so it's better if the wounds don't do anything else. I think a lot of this is just kind of minor to speed things up a little bit. As a result of role determining process, the way rend works in weapon profiles has changed. While rend has been reduced overall, there are many more units with anti-X abilities, meaning they'll hit much harder against their preferred targets. Of course, combat in the Age of Sigmar is brutal, so don't expect all rend to go away. Rolling loads of dice only to inflict no wounds isn't that fun or exciting. True. And we've seen this on some of the war scrolls so far, right? Where a lot of those random ass who cares 3 attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage from like horse clippity clops or your punches in addition to your... A lot of that stuff on those war scrolls just seems to be gone. It's like, just roll the important dice and let's move on with our lives instead of having your random secondary attacks that do nothing. I think on Beastclaw Raiders, my guess is that we're losing punches and kicks, because that's exactly what they are. 6 attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend 1. It's like, eh. Roll a bunch of dice, nothing ever happens. Instead of 6 real shit attacks, just have +1 good attack, and it probably evens out. Yeah, they did keep horses at 5 and 3, though. You're not wrong. That is curious. Curious. Also, it seems like rend is being reduced overall. Interesting. I don't think that's good or bad. It kind of depends. While they're at it, they can change the average of anything. It seems like they changed armor values, or at least refocused all the armor values. They refocused all the wound values. They refocused the rend values. And they refocused hit and wound. So, what can we infer from this? Oh, my guys suck now because their rend is lower? No, like, everything could have changed. Who knows? We have no frame of reference anymore. So we just must wait to see. Like, save stacking, besides all-out defense, save stacking is supposedly mostly gone. And if rend is also down overall, but then instead you have special anti-X rend, maybe you end up in the same place, maybe it's more damaging, maybe it's less, we'll see. Rend isn't really reduced from the scrolls we've seen. Okay. Is that taking into account anti-X stuff? Actually, I'm about to look at most of those scrolls, so maybe I'll just wait on that. The final step was to try and even out the complexity of each faction's battle traits. The army rules that govern how they play. Even out the complexity of each faction's battle traits. Finally, we get to something that I don't like. I thought the battle traits for the armies should have gone up and not down, because they went down for 3rd edition, and I liked them I liked them more complicated and more expansive in 2nd. And when they got simpler in 3rd in each battle tome, I didn't like that. And now they're doing it even more in 4th. Don't like that either. I don't like that general trend in a vacuum. So here's something that I philosophically tend to disagree with, just for the game itself. But I don't know. We'll see. It's not going to like ruin anything. The army rules that govern how they play. Okay. Well, it didn't say reduce. Hold on. Let's read this in another way. The final step was to try and even out the complexity of each faction's battle traits. It doesn't necessarily mean reduce. It means that the water level of, you take every army and plot out how complex their battle traits are, and whatever that means, from a 1 through 10, they want them to be more consistent. So maybe this means Lumineth is less complicated, but Sons of Behemoth is more complicated, right? I kind of I think I went in a weird direction that first time. Music? Oh yeah, the music's dead. It's actually dead. LRL is less complicated from what we've seen? Yes. This has resulted in bigger changes for some factions than others and a reduction in the need for tokens on making factions like Lumineth Realm Lords and cities. Okay. They're reducing the token thing like I thought. Which makes sense. As we start to reveal snippets of each of the 24 factions, do we have any, like... Hold on, just a touchdown for the music. Any mathematicians? What does this mean? Does this mean that the orcs really are separate or together or whatever? I think... let's see. We still have to count Bone Splitters because they're technically in the game still. Same with BOC. I know in a lot of players' heads they're gone already, but they're a year away from maybe going away. Right. I guess we're still not sure. There's one spare book, okay. You'll undoubtedly see things that don't look as powerful as they were in the previous edition. Don't take these in isolation. Literally everything has been refactored. So if a particular unit seems weaker, the chances are that the similar units have experienced comparable changes, or its niche has become more valuable. Yeah, this is... I know that they think that they have to write this. But also they do. Hey, fucking chill. I am. And I generally try to message in that way, in general. Because it's a bad look to be like, the sky is falling every other day. It gets tiresome to listen to that. The dooming. And the being, like, hysterically upset over every single thing. It just gets so tiresome. Yeah, I think almost this entire article is just like a delivery mechanism for someone finally reading that paragraph, maybe. Hey, look at that. We got Stormcast, Skaven, Gietz, and Nighthaunt. Hey, alright. It's not exactly a roadmap, but we can, you know. These are in the first box. Look, Destruction represent, and then Nighthaunt. So, this might not be the order of releases. Maybe this is the order of when we'll get the faction focuses moving forward, you know, on the news article page. Maybe it's both. What if it was both? That'd be kind of reasonable, you know? They do both at the same time, where it's they go through the faction focus every Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. And then the order that they did that in is the release order. That would make some kind of sense. Or it could just be random, who knows. The full faction pack contained battle traits, blah, 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 blah. Don't care. We'll begin our faction focus series tomorrow with the Immortal Warriors of Sigmar. We'll start, as always, alphabetically with Stormcast Eternals. They will be available to download as free FAQs on or around launch. This should be read as after, probably, but fine. And to buy as physical card packs shortly afterwards. Yep, makes sense. On or around launch, no promises. No promises. Chill. Just so you know, there are currently 24 factions. There's nothing floating at all. Okay. RIP Orc War Clans, freedom enjoyers. Turns out the hopium didn't work out. Oh well. It would have been a good idea, I think. Maximum hopium for Ochre Split engaged. I think there's no floating factions, right? Because they said 24. According to the guy nobody likes. I didn't do the math, but they might have. Yndrasta is presumably completely reworked. Yeah, because they would have had to design her war scroll thinking about what her job could be. And so she'll have a job. Besides fighting monsters but not killing them. Enjoy your cards for 3 days, you fools. I mean, the cards are a good idea if the rules didn't change. Which is why they're loath to change War Scrolls, because it invalidates their physical products. She'll have anti-monster on her spear, and that's it. It's like her spear profile says anti-monster. Done. 375 points. Is that count of 24 factions not including POC and Bone Splitters? Usually doubt they're getting faction focuses. I think... Well, I would say it's unclear. They said they're getting indexes. So does that count? Are they gone in a year, but they're still technically here? All I would be doing is guessing. Just treading water. Trying not to sink. I kind of don't think they should make a big deal about advertising a thing they have already announced the end of life services for. But just who knows, man. GW's whole printing section is a ball and chain around their game's necks. GW's whole printing section is like a quarter of their entire business model. It's a chain around the neck of players trying to play their games. It sucks for the players, right? But it's such a big part of their business model that it will probably never go away. So we're lucky to even get stuff like digital indexes, which probably do eat into book sales a little bit, I bet. And they're doing it anyway. Would it be a better game if it just had digital rules? Unquestionably. And yet it does. Just go to Wahapedia. And then it's a great game. Let me tell you. Great game. Coach said he basically ignored her in his spreadsheet game because she's meh right now, and then she dropped down and just started wrecking the place. You play Orcs and Goblins with all the shit you have, you just don't want to rebase again. Possible they get index articles separated like the Legacy factions and Bone Splitters. You just hope all the factions have fun. True, stop fighting. I just want all the factions to have fun. Order 9. Chaos 8. Death 4. Destruction 4. Factions total 25. Okay. Well, now I don't know what to think. If the books just swapped the rules for way more lore, you'd buy 3. You would, probably. But it would be hard for me to say that the average book buyer would. Then again, I'm not a businessman. I didn't go to business school. So I largely don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to business. We want everyone but Stormcast to have fun. They just got one of their chambers entirely squatted. Because Games Workshop couldn't help themselves 2 years ago. So I have a sympathy for them. You'd be real curious to hear who is out there still buying books for rules in the year of our Lord 2K24. Not sure. People who don't know and didn't bother to investigate whatsoever. Probably. And, you know, be a smart shopper, right? So we saw this. We went over this already. Did we? Did we go over this? Hold on. We went over the deployment stuff, regiments, sweats nervously. Started the battle round, determining the active player. Hey, we have active player, non-active player. We're stealing magic rules. I tuned in for about 20 minutes to a Rob stream while I was eating lunch. And he hates magic. He hates magic so much that it has clouded his mind. And it has caused him to hate things that have only upsides and no downsides. But I understand. I've done the same thing about things that I hate, right? You can't let hate cloud your vision.
Which prime?
Bad games. Into the big prime. Copium for BOC reimagined under more Gahur. K&B, I think it's a big prime as well for 26. Yeah, he doesn't like Magic so much that he doesn't want Age of Sigmar to steal some of Magic's rules. Like the stack or determining active player using keywords. But, you know, we say it's stealing Magic rules as a bit, we're having a bit of fun with it, but it's not really stealing Magic's rules. It's properly defining something in a real sensical way. It's just that Magic was like one of the first ones to develop those kind of rules languages. That's all. So I say this not to. We're sharing a brain cell, Waffle House. Using intelligent design to steal Magic. I mean, it's called active player. They don't call it the stack, I guess, right? But what I mean is, if any of my viewers hate Magic, don't take me saying they're stealing Magic's rules as quite so literal. I'm kind of having fun with it. It used to just poorly define stuff and was bad, and now it's better defining stuff in a way that's, I guess, tangentially closer to Magic, but also closer to every other fucking game ever that has solved these easy problems 20 years ago like Games Workshop hasn't. And so they're finally getting to the point where they're doing that, and it's not like the game isn't going to become Magic or anything like that. Chill, I guess, is what I'm saying. When you said he hates Magic, he thought you meant spells in the hero phase until just like now. Oh, I don't know. He may or may not. I'm not sure. Usually he's streaming, like, he streams in EU time, so I never get to watch his stuff. I'm sure it's similar. As someone who has sunk 10 years of your life and too much money, yes, you hate Magic. Yes, you will take more cardboard crack, please. Yeah. I mean, it's becoming an actual game. That's how I see it. Yeah. Say what you will about Magic the Gathering, but they're pioneers and have the best rule system in the board game sphere. Yes. Well, board games are, there's a lot of good, super high quality game designer masturbatory kind of, I don't mean it that poorly. Like, there's an entire subgenre of, like, I'm trying to think of a non-mean way to say this. I don't mean this in a mean way or a derogatory way. people who like the concept of game design and are kind of obsessed about that whole thing, there's a whole board game field that are just a roiling mass of people who like the concept of design from I'm interested in this and how rules interact with player intention, with interact with piggybacking on this thing, and all sorts of Mark Rosewater speeches and stuff like that. And board games, especially Euro ones, do a lot of that. But yeah, I agree on the Magic part. Greetings from the roiling mass. Yes, I had a roommate who used to be one of the board game people. You know, the people that have 3 ceiling to floor shelves across an entire wall of their house that's filled with 99 board games that they are constantly trying to get everyone to play. And then you play them and you're like, this is kind of fascinating from a game design point of view, but I don't like this. And that's me. More like board games, am I right? Damn. But also true. I don't care for board games too much. In general. Hell yes, I'm the problem. It's me. It's not a problem. I just like that. I think it's a type. Fourth, that D&D got the same criticism, even though in actual play it was a better game. What it lost is verisimilitude. Yes. And so I find myself in a different dimension. If we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, I'm on Rob's side. I just agree. Yeah. I actually don't want better, more streamlined, tighter rules for my tabletop RPG that plays more like a video game or an MMO or a party-based thing like that. Because I feel what you lose is the one thing that keeps tabletop RPGs better than like video games, and that's choice. And you're talking to a human and you're interacting and you can invent anything and you can do anything. And you can make it up on the fly. And you just can't do that with a video game. You can get the perfect mechanics and rules that just work perfectly and are streamlined. You can play an ARPG, right? You could play Diablo 4, or you could play even Baldur's Gate, kinda, right? Like, our video games are getting pretty good at that kind of stuff. But the last vestige of tabletop is thinking on your feet. You're talking to a human and not a computer. You can use your imagination, you know. Maybe Rob thinks of war games like that. In which case, I suppose fair enough. I certainly don't. I think in tabletop games like that, TTRPGs with character sheets and a dungeon master and stuff. A war game I don't see like that. But maybe he does, and maybe they used to be like that and they have lost that, and he's sad for that, perhaps. Mark Rosewater, Matt Rose, MR, coincidence? Damn. The jump to 4th to 5th was a bit of a struggle. People play TTRPGs because they are not video games, yes. There were a lot of people who used to play TTRPGs that now don't anymore, or maybe not those exact people, but that demographic of people that keeps, getting born. The type of people who would play D&D back in the day, and it really would just be every adventure is pure combat, and you're just rolling, and you're just doing stats. And then video games came out that could do that, and they just do that now, And so the TTRPG space has had to, I think, circle the wagons a little bit and figure out, okay, what can't video games do? This, this, and this? That's what I think maybe we should specialize in, or at least push a little more to the forefront. Anyway. Good tangent. Ahem. But you can always do the easiest possible comment, which is just make everything up anyway. You might as well start with a tighter rule set if you're just going to make up whatever, right? Which is a bit of a dismissal, I think, but it can work. You'll be honest. Oh, what is this? You'll be honest. You can't stand PF1 because it's just too many pointless splat books. Like, just too much pointless effects and classes and extraneous stuff. PF1. What do you mean PF1? Oh, Pathfinder 1. Okay. Yeah. The reason you don't like Pathfinder is the exact reason why I do like Pathfinder. And so we are just opposites about that. Yeah. I want all of that. I want literally too many splat books and options and a million classes and a million feats and a million spells and books and the complete whatever handbook, you know, 3.75 D&D Pathfinder 1. I want all of that. So many games now are moving towards simplifying everything, removing all the crunch, as little friction as possible from seeing the cover in the store to rolling dice. That's good. It's good for the bottom line, it's good for sales, and it's good for the number of players playing your game, which means that my opinion is in the minority. But it also means that after you've played it once, it feels a bit shallow. I want all that weirdness and the infinite books to look through. I think that's sweet. I like that. We can still have a little bit of that, right? As a treat for some games. It used to be Dungeons & Dragons. It's not anymore. It used to be Pathfinder. It's not anymore. It used to be... I don't know. It used to be a lot of stuff and it's not anymore. I would like to keep some of those. You don't mind complexity, but just stop wasting my time with 5 water wizard subclasses or whatever. Water wizards. You only need 1 water wizard, and you can refluff it. Same with 10 generic melee fighters and heavy armor. Classless systems are great, where you can just build whatever you want. Stuff like Savage Worlds. Builds up to talking about Rifts again? No. I'm not. You would point out there's a difference between the simple elegance of the core system and the optional. Yes. And also, like, you always have the get out of jail free card of, well, you can just make anything up, right? You can add as much as you want to it because you're a person. And then you can customize it. You know, the classic Gygax thing, right? The secret is that the rules don't matter. You can try to have your cake and eat it too, in other words, from the design point of view. Which is have the most lubed up on-ramp possible, you know? But then if someone should wish to tread beyond the light, they will uncover with their torch as many treasures as you care to print after that, if they should want it. Rifts has a terrible core system, which we tolerate because the optional ephemera is amazing and voluminous. Almost stiflingly, almost oppressively expansive. But in a very endearing way. Much like when you're reading their rules writing, and they put actual explanation points in there, and you're like, oh, that's precious. It's like a dog that's just excited to see you. It's a stupid one, but it's a good one. Anyway, I won't be talking about Rifts yet again. Even though I just did. Also chill. Now, excuse me, I gotta work on my Rifts game that I'll be doing after the partner push for some mods. I gotta work on the splash screens for it. Anyhow, do we have to look at all this stuff? Rift stream now, banish Sigmar to the Bone Orchard. we've seen these. What we haven't seen or talked about is some of the dude trust me's. And some of the screenshots. Such as this guy. Look at this dude. Rattling Warp Blaster. Overwhelming Fire. Hail of Warpstone Bullets. 20-inch range is a long range, plus 6 is 26. Huge range. 36 plus 3. Minimum 6. If stuff must be random, I always appreciate a little bonus, right? A little baseline. Fours and threes, 1-1. Crit auto wound. Mostly negligible melee attacks. Looks cool, by the way. This model cries out for a hat. Alright. I will say no more, but the man needs a hat. Overwhelming Fire. In fact, add 1 to hit rolls for this unit's shooting attacks if the target an enemy unit that has 10 or more models. Okay, we're anti-big units. More Warpstone Bullets. If this... See, we skipped to an effect. I noticed this before. There's no declare on this thing, in this paragraph. No declare, just an effect. So you might think that it's like a passive, but it's not a passive. Once per turn army, your shooting phase. If this unit is within the combat range of a friendly scryer hero, this unit's Hail of Warpstone Bullets has an attacks characteristic of 6d6 plus 3, instead of lesser. However, for each unmodified hit roll of 1 for an attack made with this unit's Hail of Warpstone Bullets, inflict 1 mortal damage on this unit after the shoot ability has been resolved. I want to point out some really important things here that make this great. The first of all is, if a scryer hero is within combat range, you essentially have to use this ability. It's not a may. This becomes it. It's a may because you can choose where your units are, so in that way you can kind of control it. But once the requirements are met, you must do this, and it makes perfect sense. The hero is like, we're charged up, charge it up to full, max shots, right? Oh, but sir, it would, the machine, it might kill a Skaven hero correctly. Gives no fucks. The casualty report that the Skaven hero is holding on his clipboard already has the gunner marked as a casualty, just so he doesn't have to do it later. It's like he's dead in his future vision, and that makes perfect sense. The other thing is 6d6 plus 3 shots instead. It doubles it, except for the minimum. That's like a big enough increase that it feels worth it. I'm talking like feeling, I guess, not necessarily math. And yeah, you do some mortal damage, but here's the big thing. Inflict 1 mortal damage on this unit after the shoot ability has been resolved. This was like a make or break moment for, I think, the philosophy of the Skaven random explode design stuff. The important part is, it's relatively unlikely that you blow yourself up. You always get to do the fun thing. The fun thing always happens. It's not a chance of the fun thing. The fun thing simply happens. And you get the effect of the fun thing. You're rolling the dice, you're doing the damage, and then only afterwards you might blow up, right? This could have been a lot less fun and a lot less, or maybe even more of a decision to make, but not like a fun decision, if you blew up first, and if you died, then you don't get to shoot. Or if you roll a dice to see if it even works in the first place or something. I think they did this one, they hit this one just right. It hits the flavor of Skaven. They don't care about the lives of their men, such that you can't even choose not to do it. They do explode, they do die. Sometimes this thing will actually die from it, but you always get the candy. You always get your candy out of this. And that's proper, and that's good. I really like this. This is mostly how Skaven used to work with their optional stuff as well. When you could overcharge it, you always got the effect. It's just you might die after, and that's good. Anyway. How good is this in the game? I don't fucking know. I don't know what its points are. It seems to be once per turn army, so you're not supposed to spam it. It's good against units that have 10 models or more. Is that going to be common? I don't know. What are the buffs for this? Not sure. We'll figure out that stuff later. All I care about at this moment is the mechanics seem to be fun. Like, it seems to be fun, and it seems like 6d6 plus 3 chunked down to 4s and 3s 1-1 with auto wound crits. Sometimes 3s and 3s for some reason. Yeah, seems good. Nice long range, 6-inch move. It reads as fun and possibly even useful to me, and I like both of those things. Your math is wrong, ignore the above. I will, thank you. I didn't actually read the above. 7 wins on a 4-up save seems pretty tanky too. Well, it does, but it's not really 7 wins on a 4-up. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was a Skaven player, and this guy had 1 life left, I'm pressing the overcharge button like it's morphine in the hospital and I just broke my back. Like, we're gonna be like, that's the sound of the hero like pressing the, oh, we're overcharging. Yeah, I'm gonna blow. So you're gonna do something like 2 or 3 damage to yourself probably over the course of a game before this thing gets killed or blows up from enemies, or maybe even not from enemies or whatever. That's fine. It's not only fine, that's proper. It's the way it should be. Anyway, 5 out of 7, good work. I like that. Next up is Rat Ogres. Here's these Rat Ogres are essentially they're essentially like anti-copium for ogres. It's anti-copium fuel. It's realitium. All the ogre players that are like, oh, ogres are gonna have 5 wounds, trust me. Ogres gonna have 4-up saves, trust me. You know, ogres aren't gonna be on 4s and 3s, they're gonna be on 3s and 2s, or they're gonna blah blah blah. Yeah, this is a rat ogre. It is an ogre, except with like warpstone in it. This is probably what an ogre is gonna end up looking like for the most part. 4 health, 5-up save. 4s and 3s, 1-2. That's probably what an ogre is going to look like, largely speaking. I mean, you can still hold on to some copium. Maybe Iron Guts will be better, maybe Mournfang will be better, whatever. It's got a warp fire gun that you can shoot in combat. That's kind of nice. 2s and 4s, weird profile. There's also a weird profile for warp fire. I always imagined warp fire as this magical flame. And to me, like, magical flame seems like it wounds on better than a 4-up, but maybe I just need to look into what it is more. I guess it hits on a 2 because they're in close combat or something, or it's part of their arm, so they're good at aiming it. Yeah, only control 1. Health 4, save 5, paper tigers, yes. Same with ogres. We've been, you know, ogre players have been like, please, for a very long time, but they fill the air with fire, so they're just going to hit. Yeah, it's like an AoE, in other words, right? Like a flamethrower. And so it's just always going to hit because they just go like this, you know, and the fire goes everywhere. Maybe that's it. It doesn't take much for me to believe this. You know, you just need to explain it. Spray and pray, yeah. A third of the models are armed with the guns, so that's alright. Now, I think we noted that if they have a unit champion, which I don't think they do, right? It doesn't say unit champion here. I don't know if every unit just has one of those or not. Any combat phase, D3 to this unit, then add one of the attacks characteristic of this unit's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. So +3 attacks, up to 6 each. And it's any combat phase. I think in Spearhead this is once a game. And with the circle here, you'll note that it's the real game. And so it becomes every combat phase. Or rather, any. Flamers in 40k don't roll to hit, you just need to wound, but wounding is different in 40k, so not one, yeah, true. Kinda makes some sense though. That's not ridiculous. We got universal battle tactics, we talked about those. I'm looking for some war scrolls. And these are the circle ones. One attack per seems like not much. Depends on the size of the unit, I guess. It's 3 attacks for a normal one and 6 for a huge one. But D3 mortal damage is a lot, I guess. Grey Seer. Oh, hey, remember when the classic wizard bonk was 4s and 3s, 1d3? It's up to 4s and 4s. Wizards are not good at fighting. Hey, they have the old model in the picture. Is that weird? I think for the new game, they'd have the new Greyseer. Greyseer has more wounds than a literal ogre. I mean, it's a hero. Their stats are inflated, right? Oh, this is the plastic guy on the bell. Is that it? Okay. Warpstone Shards, your hero phase. Next time you make a casting roll for this unit, roll 3d6 instead of 2d6. This roll cannot be re-rolled or modified. Nice. And we also, I guess, differentiate between modifying and re-rolling. Is a re-roll a modify? No. Otherwise, they wouldn't list both, right? They would say, or otherwise modified or something to denote that. Your buddy's convinced they sunset the Chaos Beasts army because they couldn't balance them with the rest of these rule changes. Tell your buddy he is wrong. Kindly. Like, gently. No offense or anything. But he is wrong. If the casting roll is 13, the spell is successfully cast and cannot be unbound. After the effect of that spell has been resolved, D3 mortal damage. If the casting roll is not 13, remove 1 die of your choice and use the remaining 2d6 as a casting roll. Yep, that's great. That is pretty much the same. I think literally the same as what it currently does. It's a great ability. It's very strong. It means you can cast spells good, right? Don't you want to do that? Sometimes you blow up, but that's Skaven. Is the new book out in July? My guess is yes. Can't tell you my source exactly, but...
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Anyway, good work. Next. Clan Rats. Okay, they were trying. They were trying. Good spy work. We got a little bit of Warlock Engineer over here. A little bit of Clan Rats. Here's the Rattling Cannon. Rusty weapon, 2 attacks, 4s and 5s, no rend, 1 damage. Crit auto wound. Remember that rules paragraph they said, and I said they were so cool for typing it because I agreed with it so much? Rolling lots of dice only to inflict no wounds isn't that fun or exciting. For no reason at all, let's talk about clan rats. The come in units of 20 have 2 attacks, 4s and 5s, no rend, 1 damage. They do auto wound on a crit though. In fact, you can return D3 slain models to this unit. Nice. Just happens. End of any turn. Work. That being said, does their damage matter? Not really. Being good chaff that comes in a unit of 20 for potentially a good price is its own reward. Very useful. Anything else they do is icing on the cake. Give these rats some bucket hats and they be fishing. You mean like Buckethead, the guitarist? Give them little KFC hats. The fact that they auto wound on a crit almost makes them 4s and 4s, essentially. Were Skaven capable of running elite lists in 3rd? Yes. And 2nd and 1st. I mean, how people played Skaven over the years has changed drastically and constantly, all the time. But, in general, people like Storm Fiends, and they'll try to play Storm Fiends if they can. Because they're cool. The masterclass game was Skaven versus Lumineth, and Lumineth won. Okay. We saw Jezzail's. I don't need to click on that. Here is a Claw Lord. Yeah, having lots of bodies for objective control used to be really important. In 3rd, it was less important, I felt. Maybe in 4th, it'll be more important again. 9-inch move on the Claw Lord. On Gnaw Beast, specifically the Gnaw Beast one. 7 health to control 4 save. Rattling Pistol. D6 attacks. You hate to see it. So now we roll a dice for every single one of these. Crit auto wound, shoot in combat. Warpforged Halberd. And the Beast Fangs, which are companions, so they don't get the fun stuff. 5 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1, 2. Okay. Cornered Rat. While this unit is damaged, add 3 to attack characteristic of its Warpforged Halberd. Wow, 5 attacks, huh? Okay. Your hero phase, Cruel Commander. Pick a friendly non-hero Verminous Infantry. Verminous specifically. Non-hero Verminous Infantry. Clan Rats. Verminous detected. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. Then, add 5 to the target's control score until the start of your next turn. I'm a little sad, because I wish it didn't say non-hero. Because I wanted to pick myself, deal 1 mortal damage, and then qualify for the passive. But no combos allowed. Magic player, BTFO. Okay. You got me. Still, adding 5 to the control score is kind of big. We'll see how important that is. Because I don't know yet how important that will be. Hey, anyone want to read the Skaven battle traits for the army itself, supposedly? Once per turn army. Enemy hero phase. So enemy hero phase only. Always 3 claw steps ahead. Declare. Pick a friendly non-monster Skaven unit that is not in combat and was not set up this turn. Non-monster. Non-combatant. Non-setup. That unit can use normal move as if it were your movement phase. So on the enemy hero phase, you get to move somebody. Which is a really, even though, like I just said, a bunch of can't be this, can't be this, can't be this. A free move in your opponent's hero phase is awesome. Like, that's good. Anywhere on the battlefield, just anything. Not anything, but yeah, I like this. This is a good ability. It has a lot of little limitations, I suppose, but this is good. People pointed out both Skaven and Perils don't technically have a uniting word anymore, like Perils lost Warclan's keyword. You think they're being broken up into smaller armies? What's Perils? Perils of the Warp? Oh, orcs, okay. Orc players, it seems, well, okay, a bunch of people are hoping that it's no longer Orc Warclan's soup book anymore because it doesn't have to be because there's no Bone Splitters. I think Ironjaws can stand alone and prosper, and I think Cruel Boys can stand alone and prosper, and we all are kind of hoping they're their own separate armies again. That's pure hopium. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Best to assume it's not, but here's hoping. As for Skaven, I think they're just all in Skaven. Anyway, this battle trait is great. Heroic traits. Passive. Skilled Manipulator. While this unit is within the combat range of a friendly non-hero Skaven infantry, this unit has a ward of 4 up. Each time you make a successful ward roll for this unit, allocate 1 damage to a friendly non-hero Skaven infantry unit that is... okay. Nice. We have a bodyguard, essentially. It's just spelled out. Ward of 4 up. Each time you make a successful ward roll, that 1 is then allocated to the other thing, and then ward rolls cannot be made. Okay, that seems non-hero Skaven infantry. While this unit is within the combat range of... okay. Yeah. So all of your heroes have Skaven infantry bodyguard status now. That makes sense. That's good. That's good. Skaven Warlord is particularly devious and self-serving, deftly ensuring that their minions are always conveniently positioned between themselves and potential threats. Fun. So, heroic traits. Oh, this is what command traits are called now, right? This isn't just like a heading that's kind of cool. This is basically a command trait. You believe it's a spearhead and only for Jenny? Okay. And then battle formations, they chose Warp Cog for this one. Once per turn army. Declare, pick up to 3 friendly Scry units to be the targets. Either it blows up, or you add 1 to wound rolls mostly, or it crits and you add wound rolls and rend, okay? Once per turn army, your shooting phase. It works on shooting attacks. Okay. That's a spell lore down here, which is not in Spearhead. Oh, it's a pre-constructed army. I see. You're not familiar with orcs? Is soup not what you want? No, not at all. Or does it just not work but you have to? So some people probably do, I think. Yeah, I felt that they were separate armies and they got put into the same book and let you play it as a giant blob. It was kind of a big band-aid thing, yeah. I could go on a tangent about it, but artifacts power fall hard. Heal D3 at the end of each turn you heal D3. Okay. You don't think the books are getting split up, unfortunately? Yeah, I don't think so either because of the 24 thing. But we'll see. You know, it's just people hoping for stuff, and we'll figure it out. we should expect all these precon rules to be what we see this week in army deep dives, probably. Spell's Wither. Pick friendly Skaven Wizard. Pick a visible enemy unit within 13. Just D3 mortal wounds. You can cast it as many times as you want. Unlimited. Casts on a 6. As far as heroic traits is concerned, bodyguarding your guy up, that's good. If you want defense, that's a fine choice. Foulhide seems not great. But maybe the game is so different now that who knows, but it doesn't seem great. Actually, it depends on what kind of unit you put it on, I guess. You know, D3 healing every single turn on like some monster or something might be okay, but... And then Warp Cog Convocation gives you a once per turn army or shooting phase. Probably a buff to shooting, right? Probably +1 to win rolls. And then 3 friendly Sarai units. No ranges or anything, it just happens. I kind of like that kind of stuff. Reduces some measuring. We looked at prosecutors already. We got some Stormcast, army rules. Scions of the Storm. Your movement phase. Pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit that is in the Celestial Realm and set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 from all enemy units. Yep, you have Deep Strike. We've always had that. Then there's battle formations, a prayer lore, heroic trait, something else, artifact. Hey, Mirror Shield is back. Remember Mirror Shield? This unit cannot be targeted by shooting attacks unless the attacking model is within 9 inch. Good work. I like it. Mirror Shield is back. It's back, baby. For all your anti-shooting needs. Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels. So this is a battle formation. Once per turn. Army. Any hero phase. Ancient Aura. Pick a friendly Ruination Chamber unit. The unit has Ward 5 up for the rest of the turn. Damn. Ruination Chamber, 5 up ward, huh? Once per turn army, any hero phase. Big Dura. Massive durability. Now you do have to choose in the hero phase, and then your opponent can swerve on you, right? And target something else, but still. A lot of times there's one good choice to attack, you know it, and they know it, right? Damn. Plus they have Best Day Ever too. Stormcast are going to be iron fortresses. Just big. It's about time they got something impressive. Because it's like sort of what they're billed as being, right? Prayer Lore, Blast Weapons, the oldie but goodie. Does it do crits on 6s again? Friendly Stormcast Eternals Priest. And pick a visible friendly Stormcast Eternals. So must be infantry. Okay. Infantry specifically. Add 1 tax characteristic of the target's melee weapons until the start of next turn. If it was 12 up, this ability affects all visible friendly Stormcast Eternals, wholly within 12. Alright. +1 attack characteristic is a great buff. Infantry is going to have several guys in it. That'll be great. If this is the one that you are charging up the whole time, then it pulses to hit everybody within that range, which is probably just you and the unit. Maybe a third, but still nice. Interesting. Yeah, it's way better than crits on 6s. It's +1 attacks. That's considerably better. Huge. Dude, Stormcast looking nice. Stormcast looking kind of nice. Reclusians. These are technically infantry, even though they're big. 3 wounds, 3 up save, 5-inch move. They got the Stormcast attack profile, 3s and 3s. 3-3-1-2 plus crit mortal. Okay, so for those who want the quick and dirty, it seems like Reclusians are Chaos Chosen, except Stormcast. Good armor, wounds, normal movement, 3s and 3s, 1-2, crit mortal wounds. You make a resistance roll. Yeah, they seem like Chaos Chosen, except Stormcast. Make a resistance roll of d6. On a 4-up, that ability has no effect. Once per turn army, reaction to this unit was picked as the target of a non-core ability. Hey, alright. So 4-up, ignore any non-core ability. Okay. And then Memorian Descendants. Units Memorians are tokens. There are 2 for every 3 models in this unit. While any of the units Memorians are on the battlefield, add 1 to the unit's resistance rolls. Nice, 3 up. Each time you make an unmodified save roll of 1 for this unit. Save roll, not what do you call it? Resistance roll, but a save roll. One of them dies. Okay. Cool. Lives max 10, don't they? Yeah, I don't think you can double reinforce anymore, but I'm not sure. If you can't double reinforce anymore, and I don't think you can, Liberators max 10. These guys max 6, maybe? If it's 3 of them to a unit, which I'm assuming it is. Stormcast feeling quite Jeskai to me. I predicted right with the AOS Magique cards. 1 reinforce. Yeah, these guys slap, right? 10 attacks with a unit champion. 3s and 3s, 1-2 without any buffs yet. Crits on mortals. Are these good? 3-up resisto. I guess it depends on what they cost, right? I keep forgetting there's only 3 instead of 5. With the typical Stormcast buffs, they're going to be kind of nice. Let's see. Yeah, only 1 of your units gets the resist, so you're not supposed to spam them. You're just supposed to have 1 unit, right? See, what they're doing, I hope you've noticed by now. We saw the Rattling Gun. We've seen the... We've seen the Reclusians. They don't really want you to spam, but they're not doing the, like, playing any more than 3 of the same guy is banned, you know, like the laziest way to stop spam. They're being like, you can spam if you want, if you're a weirdo who just likes Stonehorn, right? But, you know, we're going to use the rules to oblige you to pay a cost for spamming. And that is like all these random once per turn army things where you can play 2 Rattling Cannons if you want, but, you know, you're going to get a little less use out of them than normal. I think that's a lot better way to do it than just banning it. Than just saying max 3 or max 2 or something like that. Because you do want to let the weirdos have their fun. If they're just you got me. And a bunch of other types of people. It's just like, I just like Stonehorn. Fuck it. Give me 7 Stonehorn. And it's harmless to let them do it. It just shouldn't be the ideal. It shouldn't be the best. It shouldn't be trash, but it just shouldn't be the best way to play. Yeah, it's indirectly well, it's kind of direct, but yeah, it's indirectly encouraging unit variety. They're not necessarily disincentivizing spam, it's more like they're incentivizing variety, which I think is a good way to do it. Because then I can play all Stonehorns if I want, I'm just worse, instead of that being banned and I can't. I don't necessarily want to play only Stonehorns, it's just they've never made Thundertusk good ever since that one time when they were too good. Lord Terminos Chad, this one's hard to read for me. 6352. The Blade Terminos, 4 attacks, 3s and 2s, 2-3. Ooh, I remember those profiles. That's an Annihilator with Grand Slammer kind of profile. Also crit mortals? Jesus. Well, fair. He's called the Lord Terminos, so it would make sense that he's got a badass weapon. Once per turn army, reaction... Oh, he has the... Yeah, he counts as one of those guys, so he has the 4-up thing and the Reclusian thing over here. No, this isn't the Reclusian thing. This is the Reclusian thing. Earn an honorable death. Pick a friendly non-hero Ruination Chamber unit, infantry unit that had not used a fight ability this turn and is within blah. Target can be picked to fight immediately after the fight ability by this unit has been resolved. If it is picked to do so, add 1 to hit rolls for the attacks. Oh, nice, okay. So he has the follow me into combat thing, right? Yeah, right. We'll see if melee foot assassin is gonna be good. Yeah, chain with a bonus. Chain, I sleep. Chain with a bonus? Oh, real shit. Indirectly, but with crits, directly. Weird. He slaps hard enough to actually make this worthwhile, you guess? I don't know. We'll see. It gives a bonus that's big. Him giving them some sort of, like, buff instead of just skipping them in line. Sort of like adding his damage to theirs instead of using 2 units, it could work out. He seems cool. Lord Vigilant. Hallowed Great Axe. 5-3-3-2-2. It's a fine weapon. And then Beak 5-4-3-1-2. 3 attacks though. Looks like the Ruination Chamber just always has this sick ass ability here. Once per battle. Deliver Judgment. Okay. Pick a friendly non-hero Ruination Chamber unit holding within 12. That unit can use 2 fight abilities this phase. After the first is used, they get strike last. Oh, fight twice. Sure, yeah. Fight twice is good. Even slow fight twice. Pretty good. Double fight Reclusians. We didn't have to look very far in the book to find a way to kind of double the damage. You know, there will be somebody else get something in between. But, the slow fight twice is good on units that are durable enough not to die in between, which could work. Anyway, you love to hear it. The options, the options. Oh no, I lost my place. We're back. Sylvaneth is next. Someone took a picture of Sylvaneth here. These are the Spearhead versions, as you can see, but also when you're looking in the future, the weird plus sign ones here, that's Spearhead, the circle ones are the normal game. So we got Branch Weach. So these are going to be slightly different, probably with only the ability. The numbers are probably staying the same. It's also very difficult to read Virtuous Harmony. Envoys of the Everqueen. 18-inch. It's probably a 2. 3s and 3s, 1, 2. You went to make dinner. What factions have we seen so far? We've seen Skaven. We've seen Lumineth last time. Saw Stormcast Eternals. And here's some Sylvaneth. Where did you get these leaks? I have people in my Discord who physically went to the Texas thing in real life and played in it, and they took pictures. Unfortunately, none of them took pictures of ogres. But, you know, what are you going to do? They were trying to enjoy themselves too. I didn't want to bother them too much. So there's a little bit of that in here. And from elsewhere. There are other people that got other stuff as well. I haven't found corn. I haven't found ogres. I haven't found a lot of stuff yet. But we're going to, you know... We'll know everything as the news stuff comes out and somebody finds out they had a picture or something, right? Pick one of the following effects to apply to this unit this phase. Martial memories. Either +1 to possibly hit rolls and +1 to maybe save rolls. Tree Revenants. No more teleport? Then again, it's Spearhead, so who knows? Heywoah has agents. I got a man on the inside. But I didn't want to bother him too much, because he's trying to enjoy himself too, so... Tree Lord, Sweeping Talons, okay. 4s and 2s, yeah, so monster stuff, 4s and 2s, 1, 2, 4s and 2s, 2, 3. Massive Impaling Talons just got a lot more massive and a lot more impaling. Ground Shaker 4-up, target strike last, they still have a strike last, nice. Passive is battle damage. Once you've taken X amount of damage, you're weaker by this thing, cool. That was one of the main things I was hoping would go away because it's so stupid. Well, having to consult a stupid-ass table about exactly what bracket of 3 wound value area you're in, and you have to memorize that. Just have it be like, you've taken this much damage, this one thing happens, chill. I appreciate that. And not only because I'm a monster player, who will be buffed by the fact that it's been simplified, probably. Or maybe not. He only had the full 4th game of Skaven vs. Stormcast launch box, then 3 other spearheads on the tables. Also, only gave out the 6 spearheads they had out during the spearhead event. Oh, they were tight-lipped about it, huh? No ogres? Praying the IDK get more minis this edition. Pinkertons have been dispatched to my location. Don't worry, I'm safe. I didn't buy thousands and thousands of dollars of unreleased product illegally and knowingly, so I'm safe. But also, don't forget, big company bad. Skaven battle traits, huh? Pick a friendly Skaven unit that has not been deployed. Set up that unit in reserve in the tunnels below. It has now been deployed. Alright. Big. You can use this ability if there are fewer than 3 friendly gnaw holes on the battlefield. Effect, set up another one. Oh, but it doesn't have to be near a board edge. Big. Cool. So... you can deep strike a gnaw hole, and you're not chained to the board edge with that one, perhaps. Nice. No mortal damage is inflicted on friendly Skaven infantry when they retreat. Cool. And cavalry when they retreat. Sure. Is that what happened with the Plankerton thing? People made it sound like some guy had a single card. No. He had a pallet of boxes, like $4,000 or something. He had a shitload of product that he had bought from his local store, supposedly, by quote-unquote accident. Yeah. And it was product that was not supposed to be sold, and it was anyway. And so either he was in on it, or the store was in on it, and it was illegally sold in any case. People don't like big company, but I don't know. That story was sus. I'm not sure. I got plenty of things to shit on Wizards of the Coast about. They've done plenty of bad things that I will call them out for, but that story was suspicious. Anyway. No ambush. Pick a friendly Skaven unit that is in the tunnels below to use his ability. Set up that unit wholly within 6 of friendly Gnawhole and more than 9. Okay. So you can deep strike into the Gnawholes, or rather out from them. But then you can also deep strike one of your Gnawholes if you want. I might scroll ahead. Do we have a Gnawhole War Scroll available? I think I saw a Gnawhole War Scroll. Yeah, we do. Okay, what does this do, then? 6 health, 4 save. Gnawhole. Volatile ground. Models can pass through this terrain feature but cannot be set up on it or end moves on any part of it. Each time an enemy unit ends a move to pass through or across this terrain feature, roll a d3 on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on that unit. Okay. So each time an enemy moves across it or on it, they take mortals, but you're safe. You can use it to put it in a lane or something. Once per turn army. They can attack it, though. You can always attack these things. Once per turn army, end of your turn for 1 command point. The Endless Vermintide. Pick a friendly non-hero Skaven infantry that died. Set up with half the number. Wholly than 6 and more than 3 from all. That's pretty close to enemy units. More than 3 from all enemy units? Dude. You can't set them up in combat? That's pretty close to them. Usually it's like 9, right? Yeah, infantry technically includes big guys, too. Very interesting. It is end of your turn, right? Not end of opponent's, and it does cost a command, but this is cool. If they kill all your Gnawholes, you can't use this, though. So they can... It's possible to murder 3 Gnawholes, and then your opponent cannot bring back their infantry. Now, you did waste a bunch of damage and time and stuff doing that, but you could stop it. Oh, I thought maybe once per battle round army, start of the battle round. Okay. I thought when they were all gone, maybe you couldn't, but actually you can still create one, so I guess we're good. Start of the battle round. I was just about to cross-reference and see in what way that could be stopped. Remove phase. Tunnel through reality. Oh, you still can teleport. It's not just ambush, deep strike, and reanimate. You still keep the teleport. Nice. Pick friendly Skaven unit that is not in combat. Hold within 6. Remove it. Set it up friendly. More than 9. Alright. Your moves to now. BOC has died. Skaven step into the role of ambushing Chaos Army. I mean... I wouldn't characterize anything like that. But okay. Lost Arcane. I wish they still had Arcane, but I guess you're rolling plenty of dice to cast your spells, right? And then 3 claw steps ahead is sick. That's super good. I don't know how much this passive is going to matter. Do you think... I don't know. It's hard to say. You don't take mortal damage when you retreat. How much are you retreating? In the normal game, you retreat infrequently, but when you do, it's a big deal. I don't know. I wonder how impactful this will be in 4th. Unsure. Now we saw Gisele's. We saw the Lore of Hish. Maybe Skaven got some special retreat abilities. They used to have such a thing. There was this scurry out of combat ability where you could, when you activated them in combat, instead of fighting, they could retreat. Like during the activation thing. So perhaps there's something like that hidden in here. I believe it was only for heroes. Lore of Hish. Cast on a 5. Pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lord's Wizard to cast a spell. Pick a visible friendly Lumineth Realm Lord's unit wholly within 18 to be the target. Add 4 to the move characteristic until the start of your next turn. Unlimited. You can cast this as many times as you want. This is, alright. Hey. Good spell. Easy to cast. Unlimited uses. Alright. That shit's good. Pretty good. Well, Lore of Hish is good. What about our other choices? Overwhelming Heat. Cost 7. Pick a visible enemy with an 18. Halve the target's move characteristic until the start of your next turn, then roll a die. Big debuff. Strong debuff. The roll equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic, inflict D3 mortal. Okay, so sometimes randomly you'll do a D3 mortals. But then also having move characteristic is massive, and it's until the start of your next turn. Okay. Spend a command point to cast this on enemy turn, have their movement. Kind of sick. Kind of nice. And then your hero phase. Oh, wait, it says your hero phase. I can't remember what the command probably overrides that. I can't remember. Because I think so far they're doing an your hero phase for all these. Maybe not. Protection of Hish for 8. So starting the next turn, friendly units have a ward of 5 up where they're wholly within 12 of the caster. Nice. Yeah, this is really strong. I hate this. This is so annoying. My army is quasi-invincible. But then again, yeah, it's 12 inches around a giant pie plate moving around. Oh, that's going to be annoying to fight. But yeah, fair enough. 5 a ward bubble, always good, always amazing. Yeesh. I can't complain, it's just good. You should be excited about people getting good things, right? We were excited about Stormcast getting good stuff. We can be excited about Lumineth getting good stuff. Am I right? Ooh, I do care about Storm Fiends. Are they good? It's important that these guys are good. Because they look awesome. And everything that looks awesome should be good, obviously. 4 save, 6 health, 6 move, Storm Fiends. Range is way down. Infantry, Chaos Skavens. Ooh, Scryer and Molder, double keywords. Grinder Fist have the Tunneler thing, you don't have to roll, it just happens. Big. Full Deep Strike, no rolling. Shock Gauntlets. Each time an attack made with this unit Shock Gauntlet scores a critical hit. D6 hits instead of 1. Okay, it's got the Blightling thing. Make a wound roll for each. Alright, so super explodey hits with Shock Gauntlets. Which are 4 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1, 2. Okay. Not the worst. Not the worst weapon. Warfire projectors are 10 now. Wind launcher is way less. That's fine. Hey, we can Deep Strike 9 and then Warp Fire 10. Let go. Let go. Monster stat line 4s and 2s. Let's see, Rattling Cannons are 36, 4s and 3s, 1-1. Wind Launchers are 15, 3, 4s and 3s, 2D3, okay. And Warpshire has Shoot and Combat. Interesting. A third have to be Warp Fire or Wind Launcher. So we're choosing between Warp Fire and Wind Launcher. And Rattling Cannons or Grinder Fists, which are the Deep Strike. And then, or Doomflare and Shock. And so Shock is 4 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1-2. But the 6 is Super Explode. And Doomflare is 5 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 D3, charge 1 damage. Oh. Doomflare Gauntlets all day, every day of the week, every week of the year. Shock Gauntlets trash. Okay. Well, that's easy. These guys usually reinforced? Yeah. Well, I don't know about usually, but the type of person who likes Storm Fiends also likes to run 6 of them. And I can't blame them. They're cool. The buffs you can put on them are sick. So what's the best? Are we thinking Warp Fire Projector, a unit of 6, right? 2 Warp Fire Projectors, 2 Doomflare Gauntlets, 1 Grinder Fist, 1 Wind Launcher, and that's the 6-man unit. Maybe. So it's got almost everything in it, except Rattling Cannon. Or no, it's got one. Because it's got 1 Grinder Fist, 1 Rattling, 2 Warp Fire, 1, and then 2 Doomflare. I don't know, you could mix it up. There's a bunch of options. I don't know what they cost. I don't know what's good. All I can say is it feels cool. This feels good. I like Shoot and Combat plus charge plus 1 damage, but maybe I'm just ogre pilled. Oh, you need to double up on the grinder first? Oh yeah, because it's a third of them. Yeah, you're right. You have to... You can't divvy them up. They have to all be the same. Yeah. Reinforced with Rattling and Warp Fire using Covering Fire for 20d6 shots per battle round. Let's go. This is a fun unit. Fun unit. Good. Storm Fiends had to be fun. It was very important. Ooh, a Manifestation Lore. What's this? Oh. Okay. You summon endless spells from it, but we don't have the War Scroll for those. So, hey, they cost... This is your target numbers. That's all we know. We've seen Severith. We've seen a Hell Pit Abomination. Master Molder. Vermin Lord Warpseer. Of course, 13 health, naturally. 10 move, 5 control, 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2-3, big hitter. That's a power profile, I guess. As I'm looking at all of these, it seems like a strong one. Warpseer is the guy with the orb, remember, to ponder. When this unit is on the battlefield, add 2 to the distance friendly units can move when using the always 3 claw steps ahead. Oh, word. Okay. So your 1 free move every opponent hero phase is plus 2 inches. Sick. That's kind of good. Ahem. We don't know if we still have the max plus 1 to hit, do we? I don't know. I hope we don't. Because it's a fiddly ass rule. that was used as a band-aid because they didn't want to change everything else, but they just had the opportunity to change everything else, so they don't need the goofy ass over top of everything band-aid anymore, right? They can just control what each army's access to bonuses to hit and wound are. Perhaps. I don't know. This is copium. I'm sure it's still max +1. It's just kind of a goofy way to calculate it and think about it, I think. Once per battle, any combat phase, hurl the scry orb. Okay. 2 up amount of mortal damage. Okay, so a d6 mortal wounds. But you can no longer use Divine the Future. That's kind of how, like, he always had the orb and it was cool, and then if he threw it, he would do some damage, but he couldn't use the other thing. That's like always how this guy's kind of worked. The Arc Manipulator. Once per turn army, any combat phase. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this. Roll die. On a 4 up, the target has strike last. Keywords Rampage. Rampage. Okay. 4 up, strike last. And then he actually will kind of cut him up. Like, strike last on a big monster is maybe good, maybe bad. It depends on what it allows you to do. And if it allows you to have some potentially big hits, then alright. Tectonic Splintering, target number 7. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18. Until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target to a minimum of 1. Jesus. Stonehorn player begins to sweat, heart starts to flutter. Ugh. You can spend a command point and use that on my turn. Oh no. Please. Oh, that's a concern. Also, he's a double wizard down here with a ward of 5. 5 up ward. Okay, yeah, guy seems good. Seems kind of good, man. Oh, what about the big beef? A Valinor, the Stoneheart King. 16 health, 3 up save, 6-inch move. Geomantic Blast, 12-inch range, only 1 attack. Weird. 3s and 2s, 2d6. This will miss like half the time, and you'll be mad because you'll think it's good, but yeah, it's annoying. What's this skull? Hold up. Cool. So they put a skull next to it up here to let you know that there's like a passive effect that's affecting it. How nice. That's a nice little reference there. Cool. 6 attacks, 3s and 2s, 2-4. Big damn. Battle damaged. Well, this unit has 10 or more damage points. The attack's characteristic is 4 instead of 6. Oh, never mind. It's not an ability. It's a downside. It's like, okay, this shit sucks if you get hurt. Cloven Hoofs. Okay. The battle damaged ability has no effect on this unit while it is wholly within 12 of a friendly mom. Nice. If Alarith Stone Mage is around. Don't talk to me or my huge son ever again. Your combat phase 1 command ability. Ooh, 1 command point. That's expensive nowadays, isn't it? Unshakable Faith of the Mountains. Pick up to 3 different friendly Azeroth Elf units. Wholly within 12 of this unit. Add 1 attack characteristic of all of them. Okay, that's actually kind of a big bonus. So sure, that's a command point. Sure. He has like the Babe Ruth swing for the fences, Idnet Deepkin Volturnose ability, kinda. Unbreakable Bulwark, any combat phase, once per turn any. If this unit did not charge, pick an enemy unit in combat with it. Roll a die on the 2-up, subtract 1 from all rend. The target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. And add 1 to the attack characteristic of this. Oh shit, double. -1 rend from you, +1 attacks for me, as long as I didn't charge. This guy is huge. Cool. War 6-up ward as well. War Master, unique hero monster, ward 6. Speaking of Alarith, they now have a floating party bus. Yeah, I saw that their terrain feature can fly. Because it's actually a flying waterfall. So it can just zoom around, move it around the board. Kinda nice. It just makes sense. Battle traits for Lumineth Realm Lords. Lightning reactions. When players are alternating picking units to use the fight ability, when it is your turn to pick a unit, you can pick 2 instead of 1. Resolve the second fight ability immediately after the first. Yep. Super good. This is a great ability. Start the battle round. Shining Company. You can only use this ability if you have not used any Facet of War abilities this battle round. Facet of War, Facet of War, Facet of War, Facet of War, comma, move. Facet of War? Okay, and then you just have a shitload of Facets of War. So you have lightning reactions, and then your choice of 1 of 5 Facet of Wars per turn. Because I'm seeing that they all say you can only use this if you have not used another one. Start of the battle round, -1 from hit rolls for attacks at target friendly Venari units. Okay. Oh, here. So we're keyword bingoing all these up, right? Sinari, Venari, Hurricane, Alarith. All right. Yeah, no more crystal meth. Some formations let you use more than one at the same time. Okay. Probably there's a Venari one and it lets you use that one for free or something. So -1 for hit. -1 from hit rolls for attacks at target Venari. That's, you know, for the rest of the battle round, that's just great. That's so good. -1 to hit all your Venari guys for the whole battle round just happens. That's super good. Move like the wind. Use ability, blah blah. Pick up to 3 friendly Hurricane units that are not in combat. Each target can move a distance up to its move characteristic. It cannot move into combat during it. And it cannot shoot for the rest of the turn. I went and looked this one. I saw this one already. I went and looked it up. And in the combat phase, everyone uses their abilities before fight. But in the shooting phase, they use their abilities whenever, it seems. So you can shoot and then move. You just can't move and then shoot. So in your movement phase, you move up, you shoot, and then you whip, move right back to stay out of range. -1 to hit now a command point or a passive? Neither. It's an activated ability that is free. So like no command point cost. And it lasts for the whole battle round and your whole army as long as you have a Venari key. So every Venari unit in your army. The cost, I guess, is the, you can't do a different Facet of War. Unless you can. Power of Heywoah. Pick a friendly Venari. Target's attacks, score critical hits on an unmodified 5 for the rest of the battle round. Awesome. Great. Deep Thinkers. I love Deep Thinkers. It's such a funny name for an ability. I preferred Villeneuve's earlier works, such as Enemy. Lumineth Deep Thinker. You can add 1 to casting rolls for the rest of the battle round. Okay. Yeah, sure. It's like a boring ability. It's not the don't do something in the next turn auto cast kind of goofy. Sure, I suppose if you have to simplify it, +1 to casting rolls is fine. And Deep Thinkers is a funny name. You see, Power of Hish only works on one thing. What do you mean? Power of Hish? Oh, this one. Pick a friendly Venari. Yeah. the target's attacks. So one unit for that battle round. You'll think deep. Strike one from the run characteristic weapons used for attacks that target friendly Alorith units for the rest. Okay. So you do have the -1 rend thing for Alorith. So +1 to cast all of your Scenari. -1 incoming rend all of your Alorith. Do a funny move and shoot with your Hurricane. -1 to hit rolls on that target friendly Venari units. Okay, just every Venari. This is the only thing that's 1, it seems, right? Or is this? This is pick up to 3. This is everybody. This is everybody. This is everyone, and this is 1 person. So this is the only one that's 1 person. Man, Valinor is going to be crazy tanky. I mean, he already is, but... Doesn't Valinor also have his own rend reduction that would stack? Yes. Yeah, he's... And he has a 6-up ward on top of all that. Supposedly your battle regiment lets you use one of these for free, and then you get to pick another one for the battle round as well. Like, it essentially lets you use 2. So keeping that in mind, Lumineth looking good. These are all just good abilities. Yeah, here's a... For instance, Alorith Temple, passive. You can use the Enduring as a rock ability in addition to the other facet of war ability used during the battle round. So that, like, your, whatever your sub-faction is, it's like you get one and then you get the other as well for free. So you're kind of doubling up on the numbers you can choose. We have some Dude Trust Me's. Shall I do the Dude Trust? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Nighthaunt is still ethereal, move 8, fly, ward 6. Fly is especially strong in Spearhead, and they're one of the fastest armies. Auto wound on a 6-up to hit. Wave of Terror is if you roll a 10 to charge, pick a unit within 1, and they have fights last. Faction abilities are pick either, choose a unit at the start of the game, and you have additional rend against it, or friendly units that charge this turn are -1 to be hit. Interesting. Grimgas Reapers are split into 2 units of 5. 1 wound, 2 attacks each, 4s and 3s, rend 1, 1 damage. Spirit Hosts have 3 wounds. 6 attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage. They're within 1 of the Knight of Shrouds. They give him a 4-up ward. So they're a bodyguard now. 2 units of 10 Chain Rasps, 1 wound, 2 attacks each, 4, 5, no rend, 1 damage. If they charge, they get +1 to wound. They also have reinforcement keywords. They can come back if they die. Okay. They still ignore rend. Supposedly, this is one of the just someone typed, right? But yeah, Nighthaunt still ethereal, still move 8, and still fly, still ward a 6-up. And a lot of the save stacking is gone, so the downside of ethereal, which is that you couldn't save stack, has largely gone away except for all-out defense, it seems. It would be weird if Nighthaunt weren't ethereal anymore. I agree. Any Croxigore? 4 attacks, 4s and 2s, -1, 2. Brutal blows. This unit's melee weapon has crit 2 hits if their target has 5 or more models. Okay. 6 health, big. Big dinos. 6 health, 4 save. More spearhead, but it's a Seraphon, let's see, Source Old Blood on Carno. 14 health. Yeah, no jaws. Sunbolt Gauntlet 12, D6, 3s and 3s, 1/1. Shoot in combat. Relic Celestite Weapon. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/2. Massive jaws that degrade. 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2/3. Companion. Okay, so his best weapon degrades and it's a companion. But, turn 2, 3 damage, I guess. Ancient Warlord. Pick a friendly unit wholly within 12. You cannot pick this unit. Specifically called out. Cannot pick self. Till the start of your next turn, add 1 to the charge rolls for the target. Okay. But this is the spearhead version. This ability might be different in the real game. Ahem. Some Maggotkin Spearhead rumors and leaks. Flies and Plague Bearers unchanged for the most part. Scrivener can shoot in combat and either had 4/2 profile or a 2/4 profile. Disease only spreads in combat. Blight Kings have 3 wounds but a 3-up save. Okay, so Blight Kings are way down in number of wounds, but a 3-up save. 4 attacks each, 3 and 3, -1/1. Oh, they're good. They're Stormcast profile. If they are fighting infantry, roll a die for each model in the King's unit. 5-up deals immortal. There is a lot of infantry now. It's not 5-up, it's over enemy wounds characteristic. Disease accumulates faction-wide on every crit, and is spent at the end of an enemy unit in combat. With you to roll them against the unit. 4-up deals mortals. Blight King's info is correct. Okay. So you gather your disease points just as an army, and then you spend them on something at the end of a combat. I wonder if you have a max of 7 that you can hold at once. Hopefully not, but I bet probably. And you roll, and every 4-up is a mortal wound. Scrivener can give them +1 save or +1 attacks till next hero phase. Big. Plague Bearers have crit mortals and retain their -1 to be hit by shooting. Okay. Blight Lord do impact mortal wounds still. Oh, word. Attack profile is a bit different. Source. I saw it. Nice source. Any gets? Let's see. There's some OBR. There's some KO. And there's Mystic Shield and stuff. Have we done the Stormcast spell lore? I can't remember. I think so. No, we did the prayer lore. We didn't do the spell lore. Example spell. Mystic Shield. Pick a visible friendly unit wholly within 12 of this wizard to be the target. Target has a ward 6-up. This turn. Only this turn, not until your next. Mystic Shield, no longer protection against the double turn. One of the main protections against double turns. Only this. You gotta spend a command point if you want Mystic Shield on your guys on your opponent's turn. And it doesn't update, it doesn't +1 armor anymore. It's a 6-up ward. huge change. This is a big change. Oh shit. Is this better or worse? Humongously worse. Way worse. I thought the old version was maybe a little overpowered in combination with other stuff. Like, I felt something had to give, and they decided that this should be the thing to give. A lot of stuff has ward anyway, so this won't work. It only lasts for this very turn, which is almost never when you want it. You almost always want it on your opponent's turn instead. You now have to pay a command point to be able to cast this on your opponent's turn, which is huge. It's still only a 6-up ward. Yeah. No more save stacking. This is a good thing. Like, this spell is way worse, but I'm not sad. I wonder if it's still like worth casting or not, actually. Maybe not. I wouldn't want to spend a command point to have to use this on a turn where it'll matter. That's for sure. I got better things to spend command points on, I think, so far. Don't know. Anyway, gutted, but probably not a bad thing that it was. And I'm seeing a lot of good spells anyway, so it's not like you don't want a wizard. And then example prayer, resurrection. Make a chanting roll of d6, works on a 7. Pick a friendly infantry hero that has been slain and return them. Oh, just straight resurrection, huh? Set up that hero wholly within 3 of this priest. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Just straight resurrect an infantry hero that died, huh? Yeesh. That's not like Sylvaneth, the Oziark Bone Reaper is like that's part of our thing, that anybody in the game. Now 7 is hard to hit right away, but by the time you can hit 7, you know, it's fine. Infinite Gotrek. Jesus. Yeah, FEC has priests, sure. Takes 2 turns though, right? No, I mean, that priest will have done something else in the game, but you probably have some points chilling, right? It just means it's like a mid-game thing to do. Bobby Briccolini back in the action. Yeah, true. Gil had full super resurrection. This will drive some armies into allies, if that's still a thing. Bobby's not a hero. Oh, true, Bobby's not a hero. I mean, he's a hero in our hearts, but not on the table. Very interesting. Okay. Mystic Shield. And then there's some KO stuff. But it's Spearhead. Seeing if I missed anything big. Like Stormcast. Somebody asked for Stormcast mana spell lore. I don't think we have that. Yeah. Not all heroes have keywords. Is that a play on not all heroes have capes? If it is, good work. Pick friendly Arcanine Company unit wholly within 12. Add d6 to the target's control score until the start of your next turn. Okay. This is, you know, Spearhead version, so who knows. Yo, this guy's kind of... Hold up. His hammer is kind of nice. I guess I wasn't expecting a hammer that's kind of nice like that. 3 attacks, 3s and 2s, 1-3. I figured he'd be some desk job, paper shuffler, pencil pusher. That's kind of a big hammer. Interesting. I guess we won't see too much importance here because the whoever took this picture, whoever took this screenshot in Giga, streamer, double streamers. Arcanaut Company. 1 unit of Arcanaut, or 1 unit has 4 Arcanauts armed with Privateer Pistol and the Kutta, and 1 armed with a Sky Pike. Oh, units are 5. A unit of Arcanaut Company is 5? Wait, 1 unit has that and 1. The other unit has 3 armed with a pistol, Arcanaut Cutter 1, and then an Aether Volley Gun. Oh yeah, in Spearhead, okay. Alright. I did warn you about Spearhead, and then I fell for the meme. Add 1 hit rolls for attacks made by this unit, the targeted unit contesting an objective. Okay, so who knows what this passive stuff will be. Is there a link for all these links? It's in my Discord. Find it in the Giga GW News and Leaks section. I'm just copying it from all those. I didn't see them all yesterday. Aethermatic Volley Gun, 15 range, 2d6, 4s and 4s, 01. Light Skyhook. Oh, Light Skyhook maintained kinda nice. 15 4s and 3s, 2d3. And then Privateer Pistols. Nice. And then don't chat there. Yeah, we're trying to keep Giga to be just like a leak after a leak after a leak in images. And so we don't want talking in there because it clutters it up. You can discuss all this stuff in the other channels, you know. So. Arcanaut Frigate. 15 3 up, 12 5. Heavy Skyhook, 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, 2d6. Oof. D6. You hate to see it. Or Aethershot Carbines, 4 attacks, 12 range. 3-3-1-2 shoot in combat. Well, that makes sense. And then you can drop bombs on them. They seem bad, yes, but they'll probably be cheap. Like it's 10 guys. It's 10 guys that have ranged attacks. 10-inch range on most of their guns is very short. A single light Skyhook with a chance in hell of doing a D3 or something. Yeah. Arcanaut Company don't seem terrifically exciting. But you put them in a boat, and it gives the boat more attacks, kinda. Technically, they're men that can stand on something, try to... Sky Wardens? Vulcanizer Pistol, range 10, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1-1, shoot in combat. Aethermatic Volley Gun, 2d6, 4-4-1. Sky Pike is 3 and 3, 1-2, crit mortals. Oh, Sky Pike is strong. And then Gun Bullet. I wonder how they're going to differentiate the Sky Pike ones from the Chainsaw ones in this edition. They never have been exciting, they've just been kind of solid, yeah. Shoot in combat. The rules. Thanks for the follows, a whole bunch of people, by the way. During this. I know sometimes it's just we're looking at all the rules and figuring them out, but I like doing that sometimes. It might not be exciting, but it's information. Anyway, that's it. We've run out of Giga. We have a whole bunch of information. Exactly tomorrow, the faction focuses begin. And then I believe they said 2 of them a week, right? So it's looking like every Friday we'll have 2 faction focuses to go over until 4th edition. Big. Or until somebody leaks all of it. And then we'll have a Heywoah dies of starvation 48-hour every rule in the game stream. Someone call a wellness check. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get some ogre rules in the future. You really hope the edition drops next month because we all know it's going to leak way before launch. July. I mean, a lot of the images we've seen have the July month printed on them, and so it's got to be that. Do we not have some of the Stormcast, like the priest and prosecutors? Yeah, we looked at those already though. Heywoah's wake after he dies of content. Yeah. Where did they say 2 a week? I could have sworn they mentioned 2 a week. Did they not? Like, if they only do 1 a week, that's 24 weeks from now. So it can't be just 1 a week, right? I mean, perhaps it's more than 2 a week, I'm not sure, but... let's see. What is the fewest amount of weeks before this? 3 a week would be 8 weeks. 4 a week would be, they did 4 a week for 40k. It's got to be 4. 2 a week is 3 months. Hold on. I didn't actually do the math. I actually thought they said 2 a week, but you guys are right. If you actually do the math, it can't be 2. If they do 1 a week as 24 weeks, that's not okay. Yeah, it's got to be 4. Hey, what fake news? No, we worked it out. Easy. So that means Friday we're going to have like 4 faction focuses to go over. Let's fucking go. Alright, I'm hyped. Anyway, chat. Thanks for watching. I'm glad we got that figured out. 4 per week is a month and a half, so about perfect timing. Nice. Nice-oo. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. Actual news. Actual news time for 4th edition begins Friday. Can you even believe it? Anyway, see you guys Friday for a bunch of faction focuses. Stick around to raid if you give a shit. If you don't, do what makes you happy. I'll see you Friday.